and welcome to Speak English with Steph. Today we're going to learn about do and make because I know it's very stressful for English learners to understand the differences of when and how we use do and make in English. And we use those words quite a lot. So let's dive into it. You make the pasta, I will do the dishes. How and why is that different? Well, first, I think it's important that we look and learn the actual definitions of the word do and the word make. So let's look at do here. It says to work at or perform an activity or a task. And to make, to create or prepare something by combining materials or putting parts together. So it looks like to do is the performance, the physical act of doing an activity or a task. And make is the creation, the preparation, the results of something. And that's kind of how we can distinguish the difference between the two, to understand the difference between the two. Okay, so now let's look at it a little bit more closely. So you will notice two columns on this screen, one column for do and one column for make. Now, under each column, you will see I have categories in which we mostly use do and categories in which we mostly use make. So do is action-based and make is result-based, right? So let's look at all of the actions in which we would use do. So this is mainly for repetitive tasks like jobs and school, chores, housework and errands, self-care, which means all the things taking care of your body, sports and hobbies, and non-specific activities like anything or good job, all things that are general. Now let's look at the make column, our results, right? Things that we create. We would usually use make for food and drink, arrangements and choices, material objects, reactions and relationships, sounds and speaking. Now, it's important to remember that we use do and make a lot in English, a lot. So these are not the only ways we will ever use do and make, but these are the majority of the ways that we will use do and make, okay? So if you understand this, then you will be able to use do and make more fluently. Again, in English, there's so many exceptions. So with do and make, this is a good starting point, and we will go over some of those exceptions later on. Let's break it down with some examples for each category so you have a better understanding of do and make. So first, we are going to look at the categories for do. So again, do is to work at or perform an activity or a task. It is our action, right? So for jobs and school, we have I do my homework after dinner. I do my homework after dinner. Homework is something that you do often for school. It is a task. It's not, although you may complete your homework, it's still something that it's a task. You have to do it every single time. So for jobs and school, we use do. Chores. On Saturdays, I do the grocery shopping. Grocery shopping is an errand, it's a chore, something that we have to do all the time. It never ends. Grocery shopping never ends. You always have to go back and do it. It is a repetitive task, right? So on Saturdays, I do the grocery shopping. Self-care. I like to do my own nails. I like to do my own nails. Now, for this, nails, right? You may paint your nails. You may file your nails, but your nails are going to grow and the paint is going to chip and you're going to have to do your nails again, a repetitive task with self-care, with the body. So I like to do my own nails. Sports and hobbies. I do martial arts because I want to protect myself. I do martial arts because I want to protect myself. Martial arts is a sport or a hobby, both, really. And It's something that you are repeatedly doing. You are practicing martial arts. It is repetitive, right? It is not an end result. So I do martial arts because I want to protect myself. Non-specific activities. Let's look at this one. On Sundays, I won't do anything difficult. On Sundays, I won't do anything difficult. Anything is generic. It's general. It's non-specific, but it is an activity. By saying I won't do anything difficult, that means none of the tasks or actions I am doing on Sunday are going to be difficult. So we use do. Got it? All right, let's go look at make. Let's revisit the definition of make. To create or prepare something by combining materials or putting parts together, right? This is our result, our creation, what we're looking at. So let's look at the examples for each category. Food and drink. I make coffee for my wife every morning. I make coffee for my wife every morning. So coffee is a drink, so it fits in the category. And it's also a specific drink. You are putting things together to make coffee, right? Coffee beans and water, maybe some sugar, milk, or cream. You're putting these things together to make the coffee, okay? You will make the coffee for your wife every morning. Arrangements and choices. I will make plans with Antonio for his birthday. I will make plans with Antonio for his birthday. Plans are arrangements, choices, right? So we use make because the plan is a result. It's specific. I'm going to be doing this thing, right? So I'm making plans. I'm creating plans. I will make plans with Antonio for his birthday. Material objects. I make flower bouquets from my garden. I make flower bouquets from my garden. So material objects is the production of material things. So I make flower bouquets from my garden. I get the flowers, I pick them, and I put them together in an order that's beautiful to me, and I make them. I create them. It's the result. So I make flowers, bouquets from my garden. Now, reactions and relationships. I make friends when I travel. I make friends when I travel. Friends is a relationship, right? So I make friends when I travel. That's the result of something. I meet someone, I talk to them, we have a good time. We keep messaging each other to hang out. We keep seeing each other. We keep talking. We make a friendship. We create a friendship. Sounds and speaking. I have to make a speech at my best friend's wedding. I have to make a speech at my best friend's wedding. A speech is something that we do when we speak, right? It is a result of words that we put together to say something specific, maybe at an event like a wedding or presentation or graduation. So I have to make a speech at my best friend's wedding. All right, so now I want you to practice a little bit, okay? We're gonna try these examples together. I'm gonna give you some time to try to figure out if you use do or make for these examples here. You can pause the video if you need more time. So you have 1, my hair on Sundays. 2, my exercise routine every morning. 3, pottery to sell at my shop. 4, cookies for every holiday. 5, Vanessa and I, business together. 6, I wine with grapes from my vineyard. So take some time here and figure out to use do or make. You can rewind and go back and review my examples to figure it out. And we will meet back with your answers. Okay, so let's review the results. If you're not ready yet, stop and rewind and go back. Okay, you ready? Let's go. So 1 is I do my hair on Sundays. I do my hair on Sundays. Again, hair is self-care. It's on the body. It's a repetitive task. So do. 2, I do my exercise routine every morning. I do my exercise routine every morning. This we use do. Again, self-care with the body, exercise, moving the body, and it can also be a hobby, right? So it's a repetitive task. So we use do. 3, I make pottery to sell at my shop. I make pottery to sell at my shop. Make, right? We use make because you are creating a material object, pottery, so make. 4, I make cookies for every holiday. I make cookies for every holiday. Cookies are what? A food, right? And you're creating it. You're putting materials together and making a cookie. So make. 5, Vanessa and I do business together. Vanessa and I do business together. Business fits in the category of work and jobs and school. So we would use do because we know that, right? But also business is a general activity of business. It's not specific, right? So I do business. 6, I make wine with grapes from my vineyard. I make wine with grapes from my vineyard. Make, right? Because we're creating wine, again, a drink, right? And we're making grapes, we're putting grapes together and we're creating something, right? So make. Make is our result and do is our action. Now, of course, like I said before, there are exceptions to everything. So even in the categories I just gave you, there are some exceptions, right? So number 1 would be make a bed. Even though it's a repetitive task and it's a chore, we say to make a bed. We do not say to do a bed. I will make my bed every morning. Another exception is we ask a question. Remember I said that for sounds in speech, we use make? Well, in this case, we don't say make. We don't say I made a question, I make a question. We say ask, I ask a question. Now, for fun, I added in this idiom here. This really fun English idiom, make do. What? It combines make and do together. To make do. I will make do, right? So the meaning is to manage or be okay with less than what you want or need. That's the meaning of to make do. To manage or be okay with less than you want or need. So let's look at an example. I prefer milk and sugar in my coffee, but I can make do with just sugar. I can make do with just sugar, with only sugar. I want milk and sugar in my coffee. That's what I want for me. But I can make do. I can be okay with just sugar. Just sugar is enough. Not what I want, but it's okay. I can deal with that. To make do. Now, time to review. Rewatch the video if you need to. I want you to work on these examples and practice yourself. And write your answers in the comments and help each other out. And I can't wait to read all of your responses. Please note that in this lesson, I used mainly I in the present tense for our examples. Why? Because it helps you understand when to use make and do without adding in all the different tenses. Because the point of this lesson is just to know when, in what situations, in what categories we use make and do. So we kept it simple, but remember there are different tenses for make and for do that we would use as well. And in addition, I do want to remind you that the best way you can learn to speak and understand more fluently in English is to practice, to listen to native English speakers talking and to be speaking and practice English. That is the best way to really pick up and understand the nuances, the tiny differences, the nuances of when to use do and make. This is a great understanding, a great starting point for you to kind of understand how we use it. But now you need to practice. You need to find partners. You need to listen to more English. And that's when you will really understand and get it. I have a free English community on Discord where you can practice talking in English. Please join it. The link is in my description if you want to make other English language learner friends, as well as talk to me and chat a little bit. And I hope to see you there. Remember to like and subscribe so that I know that you enjoyed this content and I can keep making more of it for you.